In this video, I'll be covering how to set goals for 2022 that actually work. And by the end of this video, you'll have a roadmap, a process of how to set them and how to keep them in front of you so that you develop habits and consistency to actually achieve the goals that were originally just in our minds. So the first step, the first thing that we need to do, we need to have a big picture. What are the things that we want over the next 5 to 10 years? And write down everything you can in these increments of what do we want in 1 year? What do we want in 3 years? What do we want in 5 years? And what do we want in 10 years? And go through each one of those and write down goals for each one of those things, as well as in each area of your life. So major areas meaning your faith, your foundation, so that's like core belief system, as well as personal growth and development. Faith, foundation, your finances, your relationships, and your health. Those are kind of the major areas. And so if you're not sure where to set goals or what areas to do them in, that would be my recommendation. So once you've done that and you've written out what are your goals for 1 year, 3 year, 5, and 10, I want you to number, I want you to number how many of each one you have. Now this is going to be important because some of us tend to be more short-term and some of us tend to be more long-term focused. And it's important to be able to notice, hey, which one am I? And just be curious about that. And it's just kind of helpful for us to know which one's which. And in breaking it down, it will also help us to know which way we're leaning. And so I have a question, which is why is it that the astronauts who went to the moon achieved this incredible thing? Why is it that when they came home, they didn't keep achieving other great things? Why was it that that was the high point for them? And if you stick around till the end of this video, I'm going to share why that was and how it will affect you and how you're setting your goals for 2022. So with these goals, now that you've got them ranked by year, as well as, or by the segment of years of whether they're 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, or 10, and you know how many of each, you may want to go back and add some goals from one of those areas. I'm not going to give you time right now, but you can pause this video and do that, which I'd encourage you to do that, and then come back, is to rank, hey, what are the top 4 goals for this next year that will have the biggest domino effect into your 3-year goals, into your 5-year, and into your 10-year goals. And the reason why this is important is because we can't do everything. And so if we can prioritize the things that are most important to us, that have the biggest long-term value, then it gives us the ability to say no to things that are less important because we're actually saying yes to the things that are most important, that have the biggest long-term effect. And this list of your goals over the next 10 years, this is a running list that will change and evolve and grow every year because we become different people in the process of working towards these goals and achieving them. And so one of the things that I've chosen to do is prioritize the top 4 for 2022. So in my 1-year goals, I've looked at what are the things that I want to achieve in 2022. And I have them written out, and one's in the area of faith, one's in the area of foundation, and one is in the area of my career in terms of long-term, and then one is in finances. And so those are the main goals that I have, and if you're considering, and I may also expand that to have one in each area, so faith, foundation, finances, relationships, and health. And it's important to choose what are the most important for 2022. And additionally, if you haven't watched my previous video about how to end 2021 really well as you're setting goals for 2022, I encourage you to check this out. It's really been helpful for me, and I've been using that system for about the last 6 or 7 years every December, and I'd encourage you to check that out and do that so you're ending 2021 strong as you're making goals for 2022. So with that, kind of answering the question I asked earlier, the reason why the astronauts came back and were kind of depressed or didn't really achieve a whole lot after they came back from that mission is because there was this massive goal that everything was working towards, and then all of a sudden it was done. And there wasn't like, hey, what's the next thing that I want to do or to grow? Because the major value of a goal isn't achieving the goal, whether that's to grow my YouTube channel for me, or to make a certain amount of money, or to read a certain number of books, or to have a certain level of closeness with the Lord. Like, those things in and of themselves, those are great. Like, getting the goal, that's awesome. But who I have to become in the process to achieve that goal, and then to continue to have higher level goals after I achieve the first one, it's also important to celebrate. So after we achieve a goal, it's so important to celebrate it, to be really proud of the things that we have done well. And by constantly having other things that we can do, it allows us not to become stagnant. It's this continual and consistent ability to grow on a daily basis and on a weekly basis and on a just life basis. And that's really the main concept of this, is to have 1, 3, 5, and 10-year goals, to prioritize what is the most important for this next year. And then you can even take it one step further, and in each one of those areas, you can say, why does this matter to me? And say, why does growing closer to the Lord for me, why does that matter? Which is something that I need to do. And then why does reading, like, these are actually my goals, are I want to fully submit to the Lord over this next year and grow in my intimacy with him and just be aware of his presence in every moment. I want to read 12 books. It's really simple, but that's something I want to do. I want this YouTube channel that we're growing to hit 10,000 subscribers and to put out 90 videos in the first 90 days and 300 videos over the course of this year. And then the last one is I want to make at least $35,000 this year. So those are my top 4 goals for 2022. And then once we have those goals for 2022, now it's bringing it back and going, okay, in the first 90 days, what do I need to do that furthers these things? And what's important? And then every quarter kind of having a review session and going into that again with clarity of what matters most. Because without clarity, like all this stuff, like I can have the best goals in the world, but if I don't know what are the things that matter and then have habits that are supporting those goals that I'm doing on a daily basis, or at least Monday through Friday if it's a business goal, or a certain amount of time, then I'm lying to myself about how important this goal is to me. So if you found this helpful in setting your goals for 2022, please give this video a like. It really helps me and it helps other people be able to find this type of content. And if you're a young adult or someone who wants to grow and continue to develop, then please subscribe and be a part of this community as we go into 2022. I'm so grateful for you and you choosing to invest your time with me, and I will talk with you soon. Adios.